and only then start enjoying the fruits of your labor when your energy and time are running low. If these questions resonate with you, then buckle up. This is where your financial revolution begins. It all comes down to two paths, the slow lane and the fast lane, as described in M.J. DeMarco's book, The Millionaire Fast Lane. It flips the script on traditional views of wealth creation. He boldly challenges the slow lane approach, a lifetime of hard work with little reward and an insecure retirement in an uncertain economy. Instead, he presents a daring and dynamic roadmap to riches, the fast lane. The fast lane isn't just about making money quickly. It's a radical shift in perspective that puts you in the driver's seat of your financial journey. It's about leveraging your true potential to create wealth and achieve financial independence now, not in the distant future. Today, we will unpack the groundbreaking fast lane philosophy, which offers you a tangible plan to wealth creation. We'll shatter some myths about wealth, explore the money tree that grows in your backyard, and ignite the mindset change needed to steer you onto the fast lane. Let's start our journey by understanding the status quo, what M.J. DeMarco terms the slow lane. This is the well-trodden path, the financial roadmap most of us are taught from an early age. In the slow lane, the philosophy is straightforward. Pursue higher education, secure a well-paying job, consistently save a chunk of your earnings, invest in a diversified portfolio, and if all goes well, after decades of hard work, you'll be able to retire comfortably. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? There's an inherent sense of safety and predictability in the slow lane. After all, it's a clear-cut path, with societal approval and a sense of guaranteed stability. But here's where we need to hit the brakes and assess. Does the slow lane truly lead to the wealth and financial freedom we aspire for? There's no denying that the slow lane approach can accumulate wealth, but the glaring caveat is time. It's a long, drawn-out process, demanding years of your life, and by the time you've amassed enough wealth to enjoy it, you're nearing retirement. Essentially, the slow lane asks you to exchange the most productive years of your life for a promise of wealth in the future. The slow lane also renders you vulnerable to variables outside your control: market fluctuations, inflation, job security, economic recessions. One unexpected twist, and your carefully laid plans may veer off track. Therefore, while the slow lane might seem like the safe bet, it's a path riddled with constraints and uncertainties. The question we need to ask ourselves is, are we content toiling away our prime years for a shot at financial comfort in our sunset years? Or do we dare to explore an alternate route to wealth? A route that promises not just wealth, but financial freedom within our prime years, enabling us to live life on our own terms. That is the allure of the fast lane. This is where the traditional script is torn apart and the unconventional, exhilarating journey to wealth creation begins. In The Millionaire Fast Lane, M.J. DeMarco doesn't merely introduce the concept of the fast lane. He throws down the gauntlet and invites us to step out of our comfort zones, to dare to desire wealth, and to want it sooner rather than later. The fast lane is a vastly different highway from its slow counterpart. It's less about steady employment and more about financial independence. Less about cautious saving and more about intelligent investing. Less about relying on others for your financial future and more about taking control. Intriguing? Absolutely. At the heart of the fast lane approach lies a singular truth. The control and command over your wealth creation is in your hands. The fast lane is not about getting rich quickly at the cost of sustainability. It's about getting rich faster by optimizing opportunities, maximizing the value you create, and minimizing the reliance on factors outside your control. Understand this. The fast lane is not a get-rich-quick scheme, but a get-rich-smarter strategy. It's about understanding the fundamental principles of wealth creation and applying them intelligently to speed up your journey to financial freedom. The fast lane philosophy encourages us to harness the power of scalable business models and passive income sources. It presents an opportunity to cultivate and control our wealth-generating assets, rather than entrusting our future to an employer or volatile market conditions. In the fast lane, wealth isn't an eventual retirement reward, it's an accessible reality in the prime of your life, providing the freedom to live life on your own terms. The fast lane is not for everyone. It requires an adventurous spirit, an unconventional mindset, and a willingness to go against the norm. But for those who are willing to embrace the challenge, the fast lane isn't just a road to wealth. It's a highway to financial independence and life-changing freedom. So, are you ready to rev up your engines and shift into the fast lane? Before we continue, let me introduce you to a ready. This is a stark contrast to the slow lane, where your income is tethered to the hours you work and the annual increments you receive. This equation might seem intimidating at first, especially if you're transitioning from a traditional job. But remember, the fast lane is about seizing control of your financial destiny. You're no longer reliant on an employer or the whims of the job market. You are the driver, and the route to wealth creation is in your hands. Next, we'll delve into the mindset that fuels the fast lane, explore scalable business models, and shed light on how you can leverage opportunities to create passive income sources. While the slow lane mentality is largely passive, accepting financial circumstances as they come, the fast lane mindset is proactive, constantly seeking to control and manipulate the financial trajectory to one's advantage. This is the mindset that fuels successful entrepreneurs and innovators. They see the world not as it is, but as it could be. They don't wait for opportunities. They create them. They don't merely respond to changes. They're the agents of change. The fast lane mindset is, in essence, an attitude of empowerment. It's about taking responsibility for your financial future and actively shaping it to suit your dreams and aspirations. It's crucial to remember that this mindset isn't about reckless risk-taking. Instead, it's about informed, calculated decisions that maximize rewards and minimize risks. It's about constant learning, adaptation, and evolution to stay ahead of the curve. Embracing the fast lane mindset is the first step towards financial independence. But a mindset alone, no matter how strong, needs a robust vehicle to drive on the fast lane. That vehicle is your business model. The fast lane approach emphasizes scalable and replicable business models. It's about creating systems that can serve hundreds, thousands, or even millions of people. It's not about trading hours for dollars, but creating value that can be leveraged over and over again. The key here is to understand the concept of scale. A scalable business model allows you to serve an increasing number of customers without a proportional increase in resources or costs. For example, a software company can sell thousands of copies of its software without significant additional cost, making its business model highly scalable. The replicable business model, on the other hand, is about creating a business that can be easily replicated across different markets or regions, ensuring a broader reach and more significant impact. Think of how franchises work, a replicable business model that can be duplicated in different locations, serving a multitude of customers. Once you've established a scalable and replicable business model, the next fast lane concept is creating passive income sources. The goal here is to break free from the chains of active income, where you're trading your time for money, and instead create income streams that continue to generate revenue.
What's going on? What's going on, family? Welcome to Coffee and Crypto, episode 109. Let me come on up to the stage. Welcome to the call. How you all feeling this morning? Hopefully everybody's well. Make sure you send this link out. And also, if you're tuning in live on YouTube, I want to say welcome, come on in. The water today is absolutely fine and it's hot. You know what I mean? I would say the water today in the crypto space is extremely hot. You know what I mean? If I could put a degrees on it, we're probably at around 200 degrees. You know what I mean? We're boiling. We're piping hot right now. It's very, very hot. So I'm extremely excited. And I got my coffee this morning. Shout out to Algorand for the cup. Got my coffee this morning. Right. So with that being said, everything is hot. So you guys want to make sure that today you're paying attention to where we're headed. I mean, listen, honestly, I'm gonna be transparent with everybody. I don't know what's about to happen. Like this space has taken me for one heck of a loop. Like I feel like if there was like a feeling, it's just like my feeling is blank. I don't know if y'all understand what I'm saying, but like my feeling, I'm like in the middle. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be afraid. I don't know if I'm supposed to be excited and anxious. I don't know if I'm supposed to be confident. I don't know if I'm supposed to be humble. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now. But one thing I do know is that we have research, right? See, we have research. That's the best thing that we have. Our best friend right now is the research that we have amongst us. There's a lot of things that's happening in the cryptocurrency space, as you all know. I'm sure you guys have been paying attention on Twitter, on Instagram, YouTube. There's a lot of things happening, and it's happening fast. The very first thing that they do is they try to, what's the word? They try to fight it. Right? The first thing they do with any new industry, especially impactful industry, is they look to fight it. Okay, that's the very first thing. So you got to understand that the very first thing is they always look to fight the new industry. We've been through a fight through crypto since the SEC decided to sue Ripple 2.5 years ago. We've been in a 2.5-year fight. I don't know about y'all, but a 3-minute fight is a long time. I don't know if y'all have ever been in a fight for 3 full minutes before. I'm not sure if you've ever done that. But if you ain't never been in a fight for 3 minutes, that's a long time. Like, it's a lot. It takes a lot of wind, takes a lot of strength, takes a lot of energy. You might get hit in the face a couple times, in the stomach once or twice, right? You might get bit. So 3 minutes is long, because you got to think about it. When you're in a fight for 3 minutes, you got to think about how desperate you are. And then you want to turn around and think about how desperate the person that you're fighting. You better hope that you're more desperate than the person that you're fighting in that, because they might bite your ear off. Think about Mike Tyson when he fought Evander Holyfield. I'm going somewhere with this, all right? Think about Mike Tyson when he fought Evander Holyfield. It was a long fight. That man said, listen, I'm tired of this. Come here, right? And bit that man whole ear off. Right now, I believe the SEC doesn't know who they're dealing with. And I think we're about to see them get their ear bit off. We're about to see, if this was Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, and we're talking about the crypto industry being Mike, SEC being Evander Holyfield, it's about to get bloody, literally. All right. So today's episode is about to be absolutely amazing. Shout out to this amazing Dogecoin McLaren behind me. I saw this at Consensus 2023, and I was just like, you know what? Let me sit in front of it and do the interview. Let me manifest me one of these right here. All right. So with that being said, welcome to the 109th episode. I hope you all enjoyed today's episode. I really put a lot of value together for you today in a way, hopefully, that you'll be able to understand. Before we get started, y'all know how we like to do. All right. We got to start with the top 50 rules to investing by Warren Buffett. And while I'm dropping these, could my family go and drop these links inside a Telegram, Discord group? Can y'all do me that favor real quick? I won't be able to do it just because of the show. So I want to make sure that we continue to push this out here and let people know. Please send this link over to someone with the YouTube, especially for those people that are interested in this and they want to hop on the YouTube channel and catch us live. And if you're live on YouTube, just do me a favor. Smash that like button. That way we can catch the algorithm more. More people can find our page. That really does help with the algorithm, is you guys liking it. So even if you're on the Zoom, if you guys can do me a favor, just like, I do y'all a favor for an hour. I come here, give you my energy, give you my time. If y'all could just do me one favor, is just go into the YouTube channel, while we're live or after we're live, right? And just pressing the thumbs up button or the thumbs down button if you don't like the show, whatever's best. But if you love it, please thumbs up. And then if you would like to go a little further, just drop a comment, maybe about one thing you like, learned, or loved, or, your favorite part of the show, or whatever the case may be. But it really does help with us being able to get exposed to other people. So thank y'all so much for dropping the link. I see you guys going crazy. My coffee drinkers out there, my baristas. Shout out to my baristas in the building. All right. But let's dive into the next 5 principles of investing by Warren Buffett. Starting out with principle number 36, the years ahead will occasionally deliver major market declines, even panics that will affect virtually all stocks. So we got to talk about crypto, right? We're using this in a crypto term. No one can tell you when these traumas will occur. So I would recommend that you all stop following influencers, stop listening to influencers that's trying to predict these types of things. They don't know what they're talking about. Nobody knows when XRP is going to go up. Nobody knows. Like even Jimmy Val. I got some documentation to show today with Jimmy, right? Valhil, excuse me. But even he cannot tell you. So like, let's not get caught up in that speculation, and let's just get caught up in loving the technology. Okay. Number 37. I think the worst mistakes you can make in stocks or crypto is to buy or sell based on current headlines. Wow. Based on current headlines, the worst thing you can do is buy and sell your cryptos, your stocks. Pay attention to that. That's key, because right now we have a lot of headlines. There are some major headlines out right now. You do not want to just go and throw everything into it just because a headline is out. Okay. 38, speculation is the most dangerous when it looks easiest. Speculation is most dangerous when it looks easiest. 39, the best thing that happens to us is when a great company gets into temporary trouble. We want to buy them when they're on the operating table. Oh, woo! Hey, that was the one. That was the one right there. Drop some call. That was the one. That's the one we needed. Listen, if you've been investing in Ripple like I've been investing in Ripple, that's the one we needed for our spirit. I'm letting that marinate on my neck. Letting that marinate on my spirit like neck bone juice. Hello. All right. Listen, the best thing that happens to us, Ripple Army, XRP investors, right, is when a great company gets into temporary trouble. We want to buy them when they're on the operating table. Come on in the room. We're on the operating table right now. Let's get it. And number 40, opportunities come infrequently, right? Opportunities come infrequently when it rains gold. Put out the bucket, not the thimble. Wow. Wow. Just go ahead and put out the bucket. Y'all got to put out the bucket. Stop. Listen, if you go to the ocean with a teaspoon and then another person goes to the ocean with the bucket, who's getting more water? Huh? So do you want to go to the Ripple? Do you want to go to the Ripple pond with a bucket, right? Or do you want to go with a teaspoon? See, I'm going with a bucket. I hope you got a bucket mentality in 2023. I hope you filling up your buckets. I hope your buckets I hope they're not half full or half empty. I just hope your buckets are full, because it's about to get serious. Let's get to this money. Episode 109. Check out this quick video right here.
The question is, how do we turn the ship around?
I think that the path to political hell in America has been voting for the lesser of two evils. They create conflict because conflict creates fear and confusion. And out of that chaos, people are not too analytical. They just struggle for some quick answer, which is who you're going to vote for. That's usually the answer that's offered to them. They think that if you just vote for somebody, the right person, everything will go away. You cannot wait until there's a list of candidates that's published and you say, which one am I going to choose? You know, by that time, the game is over. All those candidates have been selected before you were even aware. You've got to get into politics at the local level so you have some influence in which candidates are selected. And that starts at the grassroots level. You don't come in at the top, you come in at the bottom. If we do that job, we will influence both political parties, just like our opponents do now.
There is actually a way forward and a way out, but it's going to require work. And it's also going to require that we acknowledge that we have wronged ourselves, that we are part of this problem. It's not the government that caused this. The government facilitated it. What caused it was our being asleep at the wheel. Without taking accountability, we cannot move forward.
The masses of humanity have been slapped awake in a very short period of time, to where now it has created a domino effect of awareness all across the planet. People cannot go back into the matrix now. They can't. A lot of people are trying to. and they can't.
We have the right as citizens in this country to abolish government and create a new one. And that is the authority that has been given to us. It is written in our documents, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution of the United States, the Declaration of Human Rights. We have indelible rights, and the basis of those rights are our freedoms. And if we don't have that, we don't have life. And so we have to awaken, we have to arise, we have to fight.
I want to pop it off with that right there. You know what I mean? Just to share some good energy, man. Just drop some good energy in the chat box if you're feeling good this morning. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto, episode 109. There is still hope, but we must work together. We must stick together. We must plan together. We must implement together. We must do everything together. If we do anything separate, that's what they want us to do. That's why they separated us during the crisis, right? During the COVID crisis. They separated us. They put us by ourselves. Now we have the opportunity, but we have a short time frame. Today, you'll be able to see that time frame and what's actually happening. We've been showing you over the last 108 episodes, and episode 109 will not be any different. Shout out to all my local baristas out there. Just get your coffee rolling right now. Cheers to each and every single one of you all. All right. And shout out to Algorand for this amazing cup right here. Listen, this episode is not sponsored by Algorand, but I do like the cup. Damn, that's good. All right. Let's get to this money, Pam. Okay. Now today, what we got to talk about today, what we got to talk about, all right, is something I made a video yesterday, and you know what? I want to play my own video. So if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna play my own video right quick, because I'll be playing everybody else's videos. Let me give myself a shout out real quick. If y'all don't mind, drop some coffee in the chat box if I can play my own video for you guys today. I got one heck of a video I want to show you as well. So just let me know if y'all cool with that. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna, even if you ain't cool with it, I'm still gonna show it. All right, because it's my show. It's my show. All right. This is my show, and I show what I want. All right. Well, not anything, but I show what I want. All right. But here we go. Hold on one second. Let me figure out how to work it. All right.
We're going to break down what they're talking about when we talk about the financial reset and the greatest wealth transfer known to man. We are literally about to go into a new world order, and you must know about it. In this chart right here, I'm going to show you guys the big cycle behind empires rising and falling. Pay attention. All right, so anytime that we're going to start with a new world order, we have to start on the left side, which is the rise, right? And so this has been the period we've been going through as a world, as an economy over the last like 50, 60 years. This is when you have a lot of peace, prosperity, and productivity that's high, right? You have a production of positive growth and debt in your economy. You have a reserve currency that is flourishing and the world loves it, right? And this is where we've been as the United States. But now we have made our way over into what's called the top, and we're now in the decline. Let's break down the decline, because the decline is what we're going through right now as a world, as a U.S. economy. Pay attention, family. The decline is very special because this is the moment where we are about to see what's called the Great Reset, where the reserve currency is not the currency anymore, where you see a lot of printing of money, which we've seen in the U.S. throughout COVID, right? They printed more money they ever did before. You also have a lot of revolution and wars. Think about what we're seeing with the BRICS nations and them breaking up with the U.S. dollar. You have a lot of debt, which we are in trillions of dollars of debt. Family, we are in a great reset. You see the chart here. And the time is now and the choice is yours. You either get with it or get left behind.
Don't get left behind, family. All right. Don't get left behind. Now, let's deep dive into what it is we were talking about yesterday. See, yesterday I made a brief video. Now we get to go to school. See, that's why it's important for you to show up to class. You know what I mean? Because imagine missing this class right here, right? I've been studying Ray Dalio for some time now, as to a lot of you all have, right? And Ray Dalio is one of my favorite economists, right? One of my favorite goats, mentors in this space, right? And so he wrote this book, and so within this book, The Changing World Order. In chapter 5, he talked about the big cycles of the United States and the dollar. This is part 1. Now, what I want to do is, it's a lot to read. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I got to go back through it. But there's a couple of things that I wanted to point out. And then I think I'm going to uncover a little of this. I'm going to start studying this, and I'm going to really start uncovering a little bit of this at a time, because we're in a very special moment right now. All right. So on the left side, which is right over here, this is the rise, right? You have the top, which is right here in the middle, this little squeeze right here. And the top doesn't happen long. And right after you're in the top, right when they make you feel like you're on top of the world, boom, you got the decline, which goes back down. So let's break this down. So you had a new world order, right? Our last new world order, I believe, was around in like the 1930s, the 1940s, right? So that's when we saw the last new world order come into effect. Back then, this is when they recreated everything. Everything was recreated. Everything was restructured. The debt, the political system, regulations, everything was reset. And then what happened? We had a lot of peace. People came back from war, right? There was war, World War I, and then people came back from war. There was peace, there was prosperity, and there was a whole lot of productivity that was going on, right? Then what you had was the debt bubble and a big wealth gap, right? So what does that mean? That means that we saw a whole lot of companies. You think about the internet bubble, you think about pre-internet bubble, you think about the industrial revolution, that bubble, you think about the rail lines and how we did imports and transports. That was a bubble, right? And right after you have your bubble, they give you this little breathing room, right? Where you can kind of enjoy everything. You can spend that money. If you took the time and you invested properly, you now are in a different financial bracket than what you were yesterday. Okay. This is kind of what we've been going through, family, over the last 50, 60 years, maybe 70 years. So we saw the dot-com bubble. Okay. We saw when the dot-com bubble happened, there was a huge wealth gap. Why? Because people that focus on the innovations of the future and the innovations of today, instead of being caught in yesterday, those are the people that are going to go to the next level financially. And money is not the most important thing, but again, it's up there with oxygen. Can't get this behind me without money. Can't even run a green screen without money. I'm just saying. Now, after that wealth bubble happens, we see what's called the bust. So we have your bubble and bust time. The bubble and bust happen simultaneously. You got your bubble, all these companies are progressing, dot-com bubble, everything's progressing, and then boom, out of nowhere, it all busted. And then you had these few companies that were left. The Amazons, the Googles, the IBMs, the Apples, the Microsofts, the Oracles, the Yahoos. Okay? But what happened? I got a question for y'all. What happened to Ask Jeeves? Anybody remember Ask Jeeves? Anybody remember Ask Jeeves? Let's see if Jeeves still around. My boy's still around. My boy still, ooh! My boy still, hold on. Don't lie to me now. Oh my God. Look at Jeeves. Let's see. What is the world digital reserve currency? Let's see if Jeeves know. Jeeves said CBDCs. That what Jeeves said. Jeeves said CBDC. All right. So even Jeeves know what's going on, family. All right. Even Jeeves know what's going on. But so we've seen this bust happen, right? And then what happened? COVID happened. The bust happened. They started printing money. They printed more money than they ever did, ever in history during COVID, right? They gave us a bunch of credits, a bunch of stimulus checks, but it took us, some people, it took weeks. Did anybody on this call, it take a long time for you to get one of your stimulus checks, or did they come instantaneously? Did anybody get their stimulus check instantaneously, or did it take a little time, right? Let me know. Y'all let me know on YouTube, let me know on Zoom. For me, it took a little time. I didn't get it simultaneously. I didn't get it right then and there, right? But imagine if they had the technologies that we have now, like XRP. Imagine if they was utilizing that technology. That's how we know we would win, right? Then we have revolutions and wars. Revolutions and wars. Guys, if you look at the BRICS nations, okay, separating from the dollar, saying we don't want anything to do with you. You know America don't play that, because there is rumors of wars. We're in a financial war right now. We're in a crypto war. We're in a revolution right now, financial revolution, a banking revolution. Everything is changing. Then we're in a lot of debt, political restructuring. We're talking about the SEC being restructured because Gary Gensler doesn't know how to regulate without enforcement. We're talking about a new president coming because Biden is not adequate enough to be president, but it's his time to go anyway. We're talking about 33, I believe, new seats, right? 33 new seats in the House that's about to be fought over. So we're about that. We potentially may have a shift in everything. And at the same time, we're having a financial shift. This is what we call the big cycle. And right after that, you enter into a new world order, and then this cycle starts all the way back over. Okay? Now, pay attention. In 18 days, the World Economic Forum meets again. Okay? But this is their annual meeting of the new champions. Annual meeting of the new champions, the People Republic of China. This is where they'll be meeting this time, the World Economic Forum. The global economy is a pivotal moment of transformation. Established business and industry models have not only been challenged by the COVID pandemic, but are now being tested by a more competitive geopolitical and geoeconomic environment. Guys, it's not just political and economic anymore. It's geopolitical and geoeconomic. This thing is huge. This is the world that we're talking about. Everybody, the whole world is changing. The new world order. How to navigate these developments and simultaneously accelerate progress on critical common goals, from energy transition to safeguarding nature and climate, is top of mind for decision makers worldwide. To respond to this evolving landscape, the World Economic Forum is returning to the tradition of its summer Davos and convening the 14th annual meeting of the new champions in People's Republic of China. The meeting will gather over 1,500 global leaders from business, government, civil society, international organizations, as well as from, y'all already know, right? So this is the next big meeting. Okay. So this is, and somebody who I wanted to point out was this guy right here, Jeremy Allaire. This is their co-chairs. So the people that are co-chairing this year, you have Jeremy Allaire, who is co-chairing, and he is the co-founder of Circle, which we know as USDC. That is huge, family. I just wanted to point that out. Okay, wanted to point that out. Circle was really excited about it. They was bragging about it on Twitter. That's actually how I found out about it. Then I went and dug into the World Economic Forum's website and saw that he was on the front page. So crypto is not going to go anywhere. It's actually here to stay. Okay. Now, we talked about the COVID pandemic and we talked about those stimulus checks. And so this was a document that was put out through dcfintechweek.org. Okay. And this was, and they were talking about basically utility behind blockchain, utility behind crypto. And so I want to read this a little bit for y'all. It says, The pandemic, Congress passed the CARES Act in March to send a $1,200 stimulus check to nearly 100 million Americans. From the time Congress approved the act, it took months for most Americans to receive checks or direct deposits. As recently as September, 9 million Americans still had not received their stimulus checks. If a digital dollar existed, here we go, pushing the CBDC, Americans could have been sent their payments along almost instantly, giving them much needed aid during the pandemic. Ultimately, until there's a legitimate use cases for digital assets, there will not be serious adoption for institutions. The launch of new cryptocurrencies with actual use cases like XRP, the tokenization of ETFs, and even the development of stable coins by central banks are exactly what is needed to expedite this process. So they mentioned XRP here in DC FinTech Week. So thought that was pretty bullish and pretty interesting to see that, this digital asset that we're investing into is still getting put into articles. Okay, I want to play this quick clip right here by Gary Gensler, and then you already know we're going to dive into Gary, listen to what talk about Gary Gensler, this whole issue at hand with him suing Binance and Coinbase within 24 hours of each other, right? As the Hinman emails are getting ready to be released next week on the 13th. He literally chose to sue two of the largest companies in the crypto space as far as exchanges go. And this guy, he will not be stopped. That's what he feels. He cannot and will not be stopped. But I believe there's a new day coming.
We don't need more digital currency. We already have digital currency. It's called the US dollar. It's called the euro. It's called the yen. They're all digital right now. We don't need.
So, yeah, Gary, quick 10-second clip of Gary telling us that what we don't need other digital currencies. We only need the digital version of our dollar. Okay. And so this is Brian Armstrong's response back to Gary Gensler. He went live on Squawk Box, which we know is the number one of the top news net channels or shows out there, powered through CNBC. Pay attention, family.
Help us understand from your perspective, when you first saw this lawsuit, what your reaction was, and to the extent that you have a defense, and I know you've taken to Twitter, but now you can take to the airwaves, what it is.
Yeah, we were disappointed to see this complaint from the SEC because I feel like we've had a long history of being very transparent with them and really every regulator around the world that we've worked with. So even going back to 2021, when we became a public company, before becoming a public company, you have to disclose everything about your business in depth. There was many back and forth revisions of our S1. And frankly, they had all the knowledge then, and they allowed us to become a public company. And then we're going through time, and Chair Gensler has statements to Congress saying that he doesn't feel he has the authority to regulate this industry. And we're seeing conflicting statements from the CFTC and the SEC chair. And we even filed a formal petition with the SEC asking them for clarity about a number of points in the law, which they never responded to. And then this Wells notice and a complaint arrives. And so this isn't good for America. It's not good for the industry, obviously. And we now need to go get clarity from the courts.
I want to show you, Chair Gensler was on CNBC yesterday. I want to show you a clip and get you to react if I could. Take a look at this.
In the Coinbase complaint, we note that they have, through the Coinbase wallet, you can trade 16,000 different tokens. And there's a lot of debate as to the use cases and whether there's any there. Look, we don't need more digital currency. We already have digital currency. It's called the US dollar. It's called the euro. It's called the yen. They're all digital right now. We already have digital investments. And you have entrepreneurs representing digital investments on this program all day long. And it's whether it's the big tech companies, the automobile companies, you name it. It's all digital right now, the investing world. So what is the real underlying value of these tokens? And that's why you need full, fair, and truthful disclosures.
Do you think this is about disclosures, or do you think this is about the underlying currencies that are on your exchange?
It's tough to know exactly what he means by that. I mean, our self-custodial wallet is not trading crypto, the ones that he mentioned, some huge number. That's happening in DeFi. That's not something that we actually operate the trading out. our centralized exchange is really trading a much smaller number of assets. We reviewed, over 1,000 assets in crypto. We rejected 90% of them because we felt they weren't appropriate for our exchange. And about 200 of them are listed on our centralized product. And I don't know, to his point about, what's the there,
Right.
People are using crypto for all kinds of things. They're not just trading, and they're doing payments with it. Ukraine raised $200 million and presidential candidates are taking it. And it's a new technology that can be used to update all kinds of financial services. And we don't need the government picking and choosing our technology winners. Let's let the market decide.
All right. So again, a lot of crazy stuff happening. Then you got Senator Loomis, who we know who has her crypto bill, who she's trying to get pushed, right? The Responsible Financial Innovation Act. All right. She comes out with a statement right here. And she had Coinbase's back. The SEC has failed to provide a path for digital asset exchanges to register, and even worse, has failed to provide adequate legal guidance on what differentiates a security from a commodity. The SEC's continued reliance on regulation by enforcement continues to harm consumers. Real consumer protection requires creating a robust legal framework that exchanges can comply with, not pushing the industry offshore or into the shadows. This is why Congress needs to pass the Loomis-Gillibrand Responsible Financial Innovation Act. This was her response directly to the SEC. This was her reply. Okay, so the SEC is not looking good. We know what's going on. These people are, sick of this, and this is deeper than crypto. I mean, they're a lot of the old and outdated regulations and laws that the SEC are actually ruling by is actually affecting a lot of different areas, right? Not just crypto, but our hyper focus has been crypto. Okay. Now, after all of this has happened, it comes out today, okay, or yesterday, comes out last night, and I saw this before I went to bed. I was like, what the heck? Binance lawyers allege that SEC Chair Gary Gensler offered to serve as an advisor to crypto company in 2019. So before he even became the chair of the SEC, he was at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Sloan School of Management, right? He left MIT and actually he flew to Japan. He flew to Japan and he met directly with the CEO of Binance, okay? And they sat down, CEO Zhao, and he sat down with him and actually told him that he wanted to be what? He wanted to be an advisor to the crypto exchange. They told him to kick rocks. They told him no, they were not rocking with him. And because of that, now that he has this power, he's went and now sued the same company that he wanted to be an advisor for, all because he couldn't be an advisor, because if Gary Gensler were to become an advisor for Binance, Binance would not have been the Binance that we've known today. Binance would have been, they would have been a part of Wall Street. They would have been a part of the banks. Because Gary Gensler is actually, from my understanding, Gary Gensler, he is looking to pass this industry over to the banks, right? To the Fed. Right? Or it could have been another FTX. Okay. So because he did not get his way, now he turns around and he's suing every single company that he possibly can get his hands on. And he's causing a lot of turmoil in this industry that at the end of the day, we should be so much further ahead right now. Right? So this was actually a report or an announcement that Binance sent out. And they said, after careful consideration, Binance US will remove the selected advanced trading pairs on June 8th, which was today. My question to you guys is this, and this is just a real, okay? If they sue these exchanges, and if Ripple did lose the lawsuit here in the US, and if Coinbase lost and Binance lost, and that means that every exchange is illegal in the US, as a US citizen, where do we sell our crypto to get out of the market. As a US citizen, where would we sell our crypto to exit our positions? This is a problem. This is what we could be facing. This is why you want to start to look at other places. This is why I said I want to move out of the US. This is why companies, this is why innovators, this is why entrepreneurs, this is why developers are leaving the US and they're moving to Africa. They're moving to Singapore. They're moving to Brazil. They're moving to Argentina. They're moving to Puerto Rico. They're moving to wherever else they can. So these are all the pairs that they're going to stop operating. If you guys look right here in BUSD, which is their stable coin, it looks like they're going to stop allowing trading of HBAR BUSD as well.
Appreciate that very much. So I'll recognize Mrs. Rogers for 5 minutes for an opening statement.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's hearing. This committee, and this subcommittee in particular, plays a vital role in advancing American competitiveness and global technological leadership with our values, as you stated, Mr. Chairman, freedom, human rights, and human dignity. Blockchains, Web3, and other applications of distributed ledger technologies represent a new technological shift comparable to the breakthrough of the internet. And we need to ensure that America, not China or Europe, is charting our path to lead in the deployment and standard setting of these technologies. Our mission on energy and commerce is to help foster and to promote innovation in American technological leadership. We led on passing the Telecommunications Act of 1996, which was foundational to the evolution of the internet. The innovation and entrepreneurship that followed represented some of the greatest accomplishments in American history and the world. We must ensure that we can lead the next era of American innovation and entrepreneurship with a regulatory environment that keeps pace with the constantly evolving tech sector. That's especially true with blockchains. For this reason, in 2016, the Energy and Commerce Committee held one of the first congressional hearings on blockchains. In the years since, the technology has continued to advance as entrepreneurs have found new and exciting applications. Additionally, at the end of 2020, my legislation, with the help of the then chair of the subcommittee, Chair Schakowsky, the American Compete Act was signed into law, which required the Department of Commerce to study ways the U.S. can advance several emerging technologies. Part of the legislation in the package, led by Representatives Guthrie and Soto, requires a study on blockchains and ways for the federal government to promote American leadership and adoption. We continue to wait for this forthcoming report from the Biden administration to provide the committee with pro-innovation recommendations. Unfortunately, the report is now far beyond the statutory deadline, as well as the requested extension we allowed. As with any new technology, we must move quickly. While the US led in the creation of the internet, we could easily fall behind with Web3, the next generation of the internet. According to public filing data, less than 40% of blockchain companies are headquartered in the United States, and that number continues to decline. As we saw with Huawei and 5G, when we don't lead, our adversaries fill the void. It is critical that America leads, especially given the implications of these new technologies. Big tech has developed tools that interact to track Americans, both online and offline. Technologies like distributed ledgers can align with the goals of comprehensive data privacy legislation. I'm excited about that. By enabling people to reclaim control of their personal online data, and by limiting any one company's ability to control and collect the information that we share online. As these technologies are deployed, the US develops standards to regulate them, and we have a responsibility to ensure entrepreneurs and small businesses can continue to thrive. We've often celebrated they're the engine of our economy, while larger companies can navigate complicated regulations like GDPR in Europe or a patchwork of state laws. Smaller businesses cannot afford the high compliance cost. Embracing innovation, entrepreneurship, and free markets is what's made America a global technological leader, not overly prescriptive regulations. While securities and commodities are just one of the many uses of blockchain technologies, there's reason that the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act doesn't regulate, nor should it, the use of Americans' personal information outside of the financial sector. Congress needs to have a conversation about what blockchains are and are not, to ensure that the heavy hand of government regulation doesn't force blockchain startups to reevaluate if America is the best place to begin their business. When this committee worked on the Telecom Act, we never could have predicted the power of the internet. Now as then, we do not know how powerful blockchain technologies will be, but we do know America should lead the way. So I look forward to an informative discussion today, and I yield back.
Okay. So we led the way in the internet. How can we possibly miss this boat? Well, US SEC enforcement could boost Europe's crypto chances, right? Europe officials are hoping to tempt crypto innovators as exchange platforms Binance and Coinbase complain of regulation by enforcement in the US. What does that mean? Few, if any, of the internet giants that dominate Web 2 can call Europe their home. But some in Brussels now wonder if Europe's different approach, regulate first and then see how the market responds, could give it the edge. Some argue the bloc's new market in crypto assets, MiCA law, makes it well placed to compete with those across the Atlantic, where big crypto players complain the SEC is indulging in regulation by enforcement rather than here. What we hear from businesses is that now a lot of them are looking to grow, to stay safe, and to manage their risks. So everybody is looking at America right now, how confused we are, how unorganized we are, right? And guess what? They're like, okay, it's that time. BRICS nations say we can separate them. We can separate from the dollar, right? Because it's our time to do that. Okay. Other countries, Europe is saying, okay, BRICS nations are separated from the dollar. Now we can be the powerhouse for crypto. Asia says they can be the powerhouse for crypto. Africa believes they can be the powerhouse for crypto. Everybody's fighting for this powerhouse while the US is not. This is what we're dealing with, family. Continuing to push forward. We just had Money 2020 in Europe. Europe just had the Money 2020 conference June 6th through the 8th. Today's the last day. I wanted to pull up this quick. I mean, there's a lot of interviews, but this interview right here, I felt like was very, 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 it hit home here on Coffee and Crypto because we're so heavy on ISO 20022 and interbank coins and cross-border coins, cross-border technologies. And so this is Emily Turner's interview. She's Citibank's head of business development. She talks AI. All right, listen up.
For us, the way that we've been thinking about it is, sort of what are the new or novel risks specific to this technology? What are the risks that exist today, but maybe they manifest in a different way, or the risk profile looks different when applying this, but it's the same thing. And then what are just your BAU things that would apply to anything, right? And some of the data governance comments that, those are the same, but, breaking down into three, really understanding it. And then importantly, I would say it's the expertise across all of your teams, so your technology teams, your business teams, your risk teams, your compliance teams, to make sure that they're actually, deeply understanding these things to be able to get you to the right solution.
Yeah, the thing, I mean, you make an important point because in this industry, 99% accuracy isn't enough, but even 99.9% accuracy isn't enough, right? So therefore, you need to strive towards 100% accuracy. And obviously, a lot of organizations are very concerned that if something does go wrong, especially in a client-facing context, that you'll be in the front page of the Financial Times the following day. But
yeah, and I mean, I think there are parts of our business which are very much around like 100% accuracy 100% of the time, right? But there's other things that aren't.
Yeah.
And we have this debate pretty often where it's sort of like, why do we And I don't have an answer to this, right? But like, why do we hold machines to a different standard than we hold humans to? And so if there are things that we do where, there are inaccuracies, and I think it's sort of how do you, and going back to use case prioritization, where are the places where we have humans working today in a potentially inaccurate way? And this can make it less inaccurate. So, right. And then maybe the goal isn't 100%, but it's just materially better for your customers, for your employees, for everyone by removing those human driven, like things like bias, like humans have that, right? Like that's why there's bias in the underlying data.
All right. So money 2020, guys. This is happening in Europe. So Europe is looking to lead the way in fintech and blockchain. Okay. Saw this article right here. Thought I'd pull this up. This came out on June 7th. So yesterday, Swift steps up blockchain experimentation. This is from Finextra. So y'all know that this is official as a whistle. There was somewhere in here that I wanted to point out to you all. Check this out. So Swift is working with more than a dozen financial institutions and market infrastructures to test the use of its messaging network as a means to instruct the transfer of tokenized value over a range of public and private blockchain networks. It says that we would expect to see a multitude of different platforms emerging, each serving different customer segments with their own bespoke capabilities and requirements. Okay. In such a highly fragmented ecosystem, it would simply not be feasible for financial institutions to connect to each and every platform individually. That's why the community is working with Swift to develop an interoperability model, and that would enable access to different platforms globally. Pay attention. The new set of experiments will see Swift collaborate with the likes of Australia and New Zealand banking group, which we know Ripple is helping Australia build the stable coin in Australian dollar, right? Then you also have BNP Paribas, which we just covered that on last episode, that they're a Ripple partner. BNY Mellon, another Ripple partner. Citibank, who is a Ripple partner by default of them working with what's the company, y'all? Medico, right? Medico. Okay. Clearstream, Euroclear, Lloyd's Banking Group, Six Digital Exchange, right? DTCC. These are all the potential platforms that these ISO compliant digital assets will be connecting to. Okay. And a couple of other announcements. There's a massive Ripple via Medico and GFT. So we know Ripple just bought $250 million into Medico, bought the entire company. And then they just partnered with GFT, which is another digital asset technology partner. Okay. And what this allows now is Medico and GFT can offer digital assets custody solution to an estimated 80% of the banking sector. That is absolutely insane. 80% of the banking sector, these two tech companies have the potential to be able to tokenize everything. And we know in these banking sectors, they're already doing everything. They're lending, they're borrowing, they're doing all types of things in regards to real estate, private equity, bonds, just anything that you could think of, right? Personal loans, business loan, like they're lending this money out. Imagine now them being able to tokenize all of this through Medico and GFT. This is what's happening. And the very last thing, and this came out today, and I won't be covering it today because we don't have enough time. However, on next week's episode, next week's episode, I have an announcement. I have another interview. So next week we actually have an interview with Crypto Credit. This was a Black-owned crypto company that's focused on helping people with building credit, with getting loans through crypto. I met these guys out in Austin, Texas, when I was at Consensus. I originally did an interview with them, but the audio was a little off. But the interview was incredible. So I hit up the guys from over at Crypto Credit. and asked them, my bro Elo, asked him, I said, yo, Elo, are you all free next week? He talked to his partners. So on Tuesday, we will be doing our next interview with Crypto Credit. This is going to be a really, really dope interview. And for you all just to be able to see kind of the use cases and some of the new things that are coming to the world of crypto, where tokenization is very important. So hopefully you all will be on Tuesday's episode. That flyer will be coming out over the weekend. And I will be in New York over the weekend, or maybe, depending. I was supposed to be in New York. However, these forest fires in Canada has the air quality in New York really, really bad right now. And I don't know if I probably should be there. So I'll let you guys know via social media, Discord group, if I will be in New York or if I have to do this event over Zoom, which kind of stinks. But hopefully I'll still be able to make it. Hopefully the air quality kind of calms down and we can get out there and be okay with health. I just don't want to have any health complications in regard to that. But yeah, man, I mean, these are all the announcements. I really appreciate you all for tuning in to our 109th episode of Coffee and Crypto. Make sure that you all sign up. Make sure you all also sign up for my VIP text thread. The number is 678-688-3251, 678-688-3251. You guys can text me your name. That way I can add you. That way, anytime we're going live, anytime I'm doing trading sessions with my private group in Discord, sometimes I invite people that's a part of the VIP text thread. So if you want to plug in with me even more, you want to be completely connected to me, just shoot me over text message. Look, some of y'all have my number and maybe you have it confused, right? But this is my VIP text thread number, 678-688-3251. Text me right now, okay? Shoot me over your name. That way I can lock you into my other phone that I have for this business. That way we can stay in touch, not just on a personal level, but also on a business level. Thank you guys so much. This was episode number 109. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all on episode number 110, which will be on Tuesday, and it will be an interview episode. So you guys come ready to take notes. I do not have time to do a Q&A today, so I have to cut this call short. However, I will catch you guys on the flip side. You have an amazing weekend. And remember, the VeChain Masterclass is this Sunday. We will be having also the lead developer of VeChain. So if you have not gotten registered for the VeChain Masterclass, I recommend that you go ahead and do that now. Go ahead and get the VeChain Masterclass. Let me teach you how to stake it. There's a new ecosystem coming out for VeChain with staking, lending, different things like that. If you're investing, you should know about it. And I promise you, they don't have this on YouTube. You cannot go and get this on YouTube. If it does get on YouTube, I would probably be the very first person dropping this information, okay, on YouTube. So this interview that I'll be doing with Sebastian from VeChain. So guys, stay tuned. Make sure you're on the VeChain Masterclass this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love each and every single one of you all, and I will see y'all at the beaches and the banks of the world, or maybe in a McLaren that's wrapped with XRP.